What is going on, Green Teamers? Welcome back to the latest episode of the Green Teamers podcast. As always, it's your boy Ernie. You got my co-host Marvelous Marvin.
You know how we do it out here.
And as always, we're here to review the Celtics.
Yes,
However,
sir.
This week is a little different. It's a little bit of a hybrid week because it was the All-Star break.
Trash All-Star weekend. Let me just say that first and foremost.
That's what I heard. I will admit I didn't even bother watching, so we can get into that and I'll take your opinion for it. But because we don't have any games to actually talk about, we'll just give our take on the season so far, what we're expecting on the second half of the season.
Upcoming games.
We'll talk before we end the episode, and then as Marvin pointed out, the All-Star break was this weekend, the whole weekend of events. So we'll take Marvin's, I guess, your opinion on it, because like I said, I didn't partake in viewing it. So
It was trash. It was
trash.
Wasn't worth watching. And I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even watch most of it. I watched most of the celebrity game more than I watched anything else that weekend.
Gotcha. That's what I was, the one point I was going to mention is even just after Saturday, let alone after the weekend ended with the All-Star game on Sunday, all I heard was that the dunk contest was a wash.
It was Joe.
Worst one to date. Was that your
worst one to date? Wasn't worth watching. Wasn't even worth tuning into.
Gotcha.
Like, you have the issue where the star players themselves don't want to partake in the All-Star game, so you have other players jumping in and trying to do. You have a lot of rookies, you have a lot of second-year players trying to show what they can do, what they can accomplish. But
I to your point right
working.
there is it kind of seems like the younger guys, they have center stage. You know, all eyes are on them, so they're taking advantage of all eyes on me, or all eyes on them.
All eyes on me.
So I think they're just using that as a center stage, and maybe you can remind me, because at one point we had people like Dr. J, MJ, Michael Jordan actually participating in the dunk contest. So when was the last time you think you can remember that we had like a star player? And I'm not just talking about the Zach LaVine,
no rising,
Aaron Gordon.
Not like a rising star, but a legitimate star at that moment. That's actually, I can't sit there and tell you for sure, because I mean, I would say Nate Robinson. Like, he wasn't, when he won the dunk contest, he was probably in his like third, fourth year, but he was also a repeat champion. Mm-hmm. So he wasn't fresh on the scene. So he's been there for a little bit. So he was a repeat dunk contest champion.
I think that's what we've seen more often than not the past decade, I guess, is more of just two people are having a great dunk rivalry, so they kind of just
back and forth.
Yeah, like we had the Nate versus Dwight Howard,
LaVine and Gordon.
Exactly.
But Gordon never won. Gordon got robbed that one year, I will say that. Gordon absolutely got robbed. But yeah, the dunk contest needs to go.
You think it needs to go all together, or we just need, not we, but the NBA needs to reformulate?
Right, reformulate it in the sense where I think, and this has been talked about, and I think they should just go ahead and pull the trigger. You have all these outside dunkers that are on YouTube, this, that, and the third, Jordan Killmonger or something like that. Crazy dunker. Like, half his dunks would get 50s in the dunk contest. So I think what you need to do is just have these guys partake in the dunk contest against NBA stars.
Gotcha.
And then the winner gets $1 million.
I'm actually not too familiar with outside dunkers, or I think there is just a dunk league where it's essentially just the slam dunk contest.
Okay.
I think. Don't quote me on that. But I also agree with you. I haven't seen the Globetrotters since I was little, but just having guys, I agree with you, just having guys like that, or from back in the day, guys from And1 that were the street version of the Globetrotters.
Right.
I think that would definitely help. I was watching a podcast this past week, actually, and I forget which one it was or who said it, but someone mentioned just using the dunk contest as playing a game of horse.
Okay.
But instead of horse, just spell out dunk, I suppose, just to keep the rounds a little shorter.
Okay, you miss, you get a D, this, that, and the third.
Exactly.
So would you have to imitate the same person's dunk?
Yeah, essentially.
That would be kind of cool. But then, I mean, yeah, it would be kind of cool. But then if you're 7 feet tall and then you do like some bullshit dunk that somebody 5'9" can't do, then
yeah,
I get that part. portion. But the dunk contest is trash for pretty much what we're trying to establish here.
Yeah.
They need to switch something up real quick. You need to add dunkers from outside of the league, have them come in, show their skills, showcase their talent, and who knows, maybe the NBA players might want it a little bit more. But for now, if I were an NBA player too, I follow that sentiment. If I don't have any type of vacation period throughout the year except All-Star Weekend, I'm not going to All-Star Weekend.
Well, I see what you're saying there, but you also have to think of, LeBron James, even when he was younger, didn't want to participate in the dunk contest, but he was at every single All-Star Weekend. Aside from the fact that he was playing in the All-Star game, he might be resting, but he was still out there, socializing, I'm sure going to events and parties or whatever.
Right.
So I agree with you. There are some players that, like Marcus Smart, Robert Williams, they were actually hurt going into the All-Star break, so I'm sure they took that whole week off to get back into the groove and healthy again.
Right.
So I see what you're saying there, but then there are players like LeBron James who's literally at the All-Star weekend but just doesn't participate in the dunk contest, which, by the way, I personally think maybe not so much now that he's older, but you can't tell me a 27-year-old LeBron James wouldn't have been crazy in the dunk contest.
That was the biggest takeaway. That was our biggest robbery, LeBron not being in the dunk contest.
Yeah, that would definitely have been a memorable dunk contest, especially if we had other people dunking in it as well.
Right. But yeah, a lot of the guys use All-Star Weekend to charge their batteries, get in some pussy, Like, shit, it's facts. Recharge those batteries,
Absolutely. All-Star Weekend isn't just about the basketball players.
No.
As you can see, there are a lot of celebrities there.
A lot of thoughts out there too. A lot of them. They're trying to catch themselves one during All-Star Weekend.
I will say, I don't know how crazy you can get in Cleveland.
Yeah, right.
Because I saw a picture of the whole arena itself, and it looked a little underwhelmed. Yeah, like, and definitely not as loud as
whack.
It might have something to do with the dunk contest being whack, but it definitely wasn't as loud or as lively as
you expected it to
be. Like I can only imagine if the All-Star game was at Madison Square Garden.
Oh yeah, it was in Brooklyn that one year, a couple of years back.
You're right.
It was in Chicago too. I remember that. I don't know why the fuck they went. Oh, they went to Cleveland this year. I believe one of these years they're going to Indiana too.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw this, but there was a floating headline out there that the Celtics may consider or Boston, I suppose, putting in a bid for the All-Star game. What are your thoughts on that? Would you be down for that? Would you go to it? You think it's gonna fuck up the flow of the city? Like it's just gonna be overcrowded, overpopulated?
I'm all for it because it's not like WrestleMania. It's not like the Super Bowl. With the Super Bowl and WrestleMania, those are events that you have to really plan around and plan accordingly. Like if WrestleMania were to come to Massachusetts, they come to Foxborough, Gillette Stadium. You have to plan. You plan weekend-long events around Gillette Stadium, and then you might have some planned at the Garden. Whereas if it's just All-Star Weekend, everything's planned at the Garden. From the dunk contest to the celebrity challenge, it's all at the Garden.
Gotcha.
It's easier to plan. It's so much easier to plan. The Super Bowl, you got the stadium, then you also have the outside activities. You're expecting a much bigger crowd with the Super Bowl and WrestleMania as opposed to just All-Star Weekend, because with those are international.
I also was gonna say that the fact that you mentioned about it would just be sort of centralized at the TD Garden. There's also that's almost in the heart of downtown Boston.
Right.
So even other outside activities are still going to be in that downtown vicinity. So if you go, 20, 30 minutes outside of downtown Boston, you won't I don't believe you'd actually feel that there's an All-Star Weekend going on.
You probably wouldn't even notice anybody here. But if you were in the city of Boston, like if you were like Lyft driver or any of those, a delivery driver, any of that type of stuff, you'd be making some pretty good change that week.
Oh yeah, that would be Uber and Lyft's heaven for anybody driving there.
Yep,
Uber's all day.
That would be a peak week right there.
But aside from the dunk contest, did you take anything else away from the All-Star Weekend? Did you see Jason Tatum dunking on LeBron James once again?
No, because I don't give a fuck. They're not trying. They're not trying 100%. I'll be honest, I don't care too much for the All-Star game.
Mm-hmm.
The thing I care about the most ended up sucking, which was the dunk contest. So, but all in all, I don't tune into the All-Star game, All-Star weekend like that.
Gotcha.
All I know is it's more than a halfway point in the NBA season to gear themselves up for the postseason. And my fantasy team is currently sitting out of the playoffs, so I don't care anymore.
I will say, back in like middle school, so that must have been like 2007-ish, 2008-ish. The dunk contest was what you look forward to.
Damn, this shit's mad.
Resi?
Yeah.
This joint is actually from Mayflower. So if you watched the Burning Thought podcast from last week, you would have saw that the other joint clogged, but this one's doing a good job of smoking.
Yeah, they redeemed themselves.
But before we get too much into the smoke, watch the Burning Thoughts podcast if you want to hear us talk about Bud. But staying on the basketball topic. Yeah. Shit, this shit got me high again.
No bullshit.
What was I talking about?
That Ghost Train Haze. Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what it was. Now we're talking about the Celtics and how you wanted to trade.
Oh yeah, I was saying no. Hey, careful with that one. But no, I was saying the dunk contest was better back in middle school. So to your point, you don't really care about the weekend. I knew the All-Star break was this weekend, and I made no effort to watch it.
Nope,
so
not at all.
I knew the dunk contest wasn't going to be good. So, but anyways, I think it'd be a good point to just talk about the upcoming games with the Celtics.
Yeah, I think we set it like 4 right now in the Eastern Conference.
For like seeding wise,
yes, sir.
we are actually the 6th seed.
The 6th seed, really?
Yeah, but we're as from the past couple episodes, you can probably already tell that the East is wide open. So 1 through 8, they're only separated by 7 games.
Yeah.
So this is completely wide open. It's up for anybody's taking because we're only two games out of 3rd place.
Oh shit.
So it's definitely wide open. I want to say sitting in the 6th seed right now is better than where we were at
a week and a half, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. But at the same time, I don't want to look at us being in the 6th seed as a bad thing.
Okay.
Like I don't think we actually have to worry that we're the 6th seed. I don't know if I'm.
No, I see what you mean. Like, this is going to be a playoff year where seeding essentially won't matter.
Right, exactly. Because like I said, we're only 2 games out of the 3rd seed, so that could change in a week.
Right.
So that's why I don't want to look at the 6th seed as us being the 6th seed.
Okay.
I guess that's my ultimate point.
When it starts coming down to the last few games and seeding starts to really implement in terms of who you're playing in the first round, second round type of shit, that's when it'll start to matter. But for now, it's a coin toss every single day.
Yeah, for sure.
As far as the Celtics, just keep competing, keep battling, because I like what I'm seeing right now. We're finally playing like that team that we should have been in the bubble.
Gotcha.
Like, we haven't played this well since the bubble. And before the bubble, we already had our problems going into that bubble year. But our bubble year was our last really good, significant Celtics year. That year we should have won the chip. Fuck the Lakers.
Yeah, I think we were definitely just gassed out by the end of it.
Yeah.
And ultimately, that's what cost us.
Did you watch that Jason Tatum interview?
On the JJ Redick podcast? Yeah. I didn't watch the entire podcast completely, but I probably saw like the first 15-20 minutes.
Okay.
And then I rewatched some of the individual little clips.
Did you hear his comments on the playoff run in the bubble and all that kind of stuff?
I had it on while I was about to fall asleep, so I fell asleep. But I do remember him saying, I think that's where he also said that he felt they got gassed.
Yeah.
Against
after Toronto.
Yeah, against the Heat, they felt gassed by the end of that series.
Yeah, they had no energy left. Which tells me if we beat Miami, I don't think we would have even beaten LA. Which would have sucked.
I think if we made it to playing LA in the championship, I think it would have been a lot closer than.
You think they would have had some extra gas in the tank?
Yeah, I think once you're in the championship, we're 4 games away. So
I mean yes, but at the same time, that game 7 Celtics and Lakers, Pierce and Garnett would tell you after those final couple of minutes, they had nothing left in the tank.
Yeah, I agree. Like as we know, Kevin Garnett is a
warrior.
Is a warrior. Yeah, the definition of leaving 150% on the court every time.
Tatum's soft. I don't know.
Damn, calling him out like that too.
Oh, he knows it. He knows. Shit.
But yeah, so even Kevin Garnett being the prime example of giving it your all, if he can admit to Game 7 literally having nothing left, then you got to take that for
something.
Yeah.
For something at least. So I don't know. Maybe we wouldn't have won it if we even made it that far. But my biggest takeaway from that interview, just to sort of cut it short, definitely good interview. Check it out. But my biggest takeaway from it was, at least he acknowledged and understands that year was their year, and it's been festering. So
gotcha.
I was sitting here at first thinking Tatum just wants to play for his numbers. Like, winning's nice, but winning's second. But just knowing that moment's still been eating at him, at least that gives me some sense of like, all right, so at least he wants to compete for a championship. Like, that championship is still the main prerogative. So
like, he took that personally.
Right.
Exactly. Okay. Gotcha.
So as long as that's the case, I'm fine with that. That means he's still fighting, playing for something. I didn't want to keep hearing he's playing for first team All-NBA. He's playing for his next contract so he can get that $45 million. Like, I don't care about that. Now you want to talk about secondary? That shit to me is secondary. Now, that's coming from a fan perspective. Bruh, I want to see chips.
To your point, the fact that he did take that personally and wants to win, that makes the fact that we've turned the season around and are actually playing really well, that actually means it's legitimate. You know what I mean? The change.
It's not just some.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but he's
good.
putting in the work to make that change, and now that change is actually coming to fruition, it's like I said, it's legit, and
you're seeing the result.
Hopefully, it's scary because we got a whole another half season to go.
We need to be scary, fucking scary. But I like it. But who knows? Brooklyn sits at 7 or 8 right now. They're still the favorites to win the championship. So the East is open. Gate open.
Speaking of Brooklyn, they're actually the team that we play today. Today is Thursday.
Tonight.
Why am I stuttering so much? Today is Thursday, February 24th. We play the Brooklyn Nets. Tell me, what are your thoughts on that, Marvin?
That's going to be a dub. I think we're going to win that one. We're going to win against Detroit. We're going to beat Atlanta, and we're going to beat the Pacers as well. I think the next 4 games is going to be a 4-0 sweep. Yes.
All right, good call. Just to reiterate what Marvin was saying there, we play Brooklyn tonight, Thursday. We play Detroit on Saturday, the Pacers on Sunday, and Atlanta on Tuesday.
Yes, sir.
Marvin's going to go ahead and call the 4-0. Let me take a look at the schedule, I'm going to go 4-0, man. Give me the 4-piece. I'm going 4-0 as well.
The 4 for 4 from Wendy's.
The
Tropical berry, no ice.
The game tonight.
Tropical berry, no ice. Don't forget that. You'll be forgetting that. I hate when I get my drink and there's ice in it. That shit really pisses me off sometimes.
What drink?
My tropical berry with no ice from Wendy's when you order that 4 for 4.
Why no ice?
Because I don't trust the ice. Ice is nasty.
Okay.
They don't clean the
machine?
Yeah.
That's fair.
But they keep fucking it up. But yeah, 4-0. 4-0, baby.
4-0. The game tonight in Brooklyn. The game tonight in Brooklyn is in Brooklyn, so Kyrie can't play. Does that make sense?
Oh, even with that mandate bullshit too. If they go ahead and overturn that, and then Kyrie ends up playing games again for Brooklyn in Brooklyn, kudos to you, Kyrie. You win. I love that.
Stuck to his guns.
You win. You won that one. You won that war. I give you that 100%. Kudos to you all. Whatever. Mm-hmm. Props to you, bro. And fuck New York for that too if they end up switching it over, because y'all were playing some stupid games for what? There are a lot of people that ended up losing their jobs. I'm not even talking about Kyrie at this point. Mm-hmm. Like firefighters, police officers, first line workers who risked their lives during COVID to work, do this, that, and a third, only for them to get fired and let go because they wouldn't get these COVID vaccines, only for you guys to overturn the shit. That to me, that's stupid. Like, if I were somebody who lost my job because of it, I would be enraged.
You're saying it'd be a little bit more fair if, say, the people that didn't want to get vaccinated, they just let them stay home and be like, until this thing is figured out, you can't get paid, but you can't, you're not fired. Do you think that would be a little bit more fair in the same sense that Kyrie can't play in New York, so he's not getting paid for those games?
If you're gonna put it in that sense, yes. If because Kyrie still got paid for not playing.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, essentially he got paid for not playing because he would show up to his practices or show up to
Gotcha.
or do what he has to do enough to get paid.
So you're saying maybe if the workers who didn't get vaccinated, if they could do like record retentions from home.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
okay.
Like, all right, y'all can't work in the office. You guys can't work here, but we can find something else for you to do.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. But if you can't find something else for them to do, you can't just fire the motherfuckers like that.
That's fair. I can agree with that.
Especially, and that's my biggest stance on it, especially if at the end of the day, you guys don't even stick to your guns. Like, you're telling me 6 months later, if everything gets overturned, you fired those people for nothing. They all lost their jobs for nothing. For something you guys didn't even fucking believe in. That you weren't fully 10 toes down on. So fuck you for that.
Well, there you have it. Before we get too carried away.
Right? Yeah. Save that one.
Yeah. Let's end it here, Marvin. The Celtics, like we said, the Celtics have 4 games this week. We called 4-0. Come back next Thursday to see how we did. We'll get a recap of that going. Thank you guys for watching. This has been the Green Teamers Podcast. Peace.